Hello, I am the 10th Umbral Calamity, but you may call me Carbuncle. I have been summoned because I heard you guys can't even meet the DPS check. Yeah, I checked the logs. It's bad. To get good, consider pressing the red subscription button. Or not, and just let your DPS suffer. Hey, you might be good enough to beat this fellow. Barely. Okay, I'm done lecturing. Get back to watching these scrubs talk about stuff.
Alright. Okay.
Yep.
Alright. What were we talking about?
Don't even do that. Don't do that.
Huh?
You know what we're talking about.
How are you doing today?
Well, I hate a lot of things, I realized.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a rough year. I understand hating a lot of things.
Yeah, and the year just started. Happy New Year's, by the way.
Alright, Happy New Year's.
Welcome to
We
the
started
new
recording?
year. Yeah. Yeah, I told you I recorded. Okay, we're not even going to. No, this is a new year. We ain't gonna do this.
New year, new you, huh?
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck you.
This guy right here, Zero, he's on a fuck you attitude today.
Yeah, I got a fuck you mood today.
Yeah, fuck you mood.
So yeah, you watching this video? Fuck you.
Yeah, I see you out there eating some pizza with some fried chicken on top. I see you.
What? Oh Lord, let's
Don't
not.
be.
With all the honey and the maple syrups.
Yeah.
Anyways, so today we're going over
Bussin'. I was like, sorry,
going over our top 5 best and worst games of 2021. So we're gonna start with our we're gonna actually divide this into 2 videos.
Yeah, 2 videos.
Because it's gonna be too long. All
yeah,
right,
exactly.
So today we'll be talking about the top 5 worst video games of 2021.
Yes.
All right, so I am going to let you start with the top 5.
I feel like you're gonna say. I feel like you were about to say, "I'm gonna start."
No, that's not what I was. I did not get confused and switch it in my brain. I'm gonna let you start.
All right, so we're gonna go with the 5th one.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Number 5.
Number 5. Okay. Number 5 is. Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh man,
I would say that
that came out last year.
Yeah.
Wow, really? That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. It was even in like the Game Awards, dude.
Oh, it was right.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Damn, I totally erased that game from my brain.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's pretty much like that, right? Now, so main thing, right? I really like the game. The side quests are really cool and really unique. Main story was bare bones. It wasn't really interesting to me. I was more interested in playing the side quests instead. So like,
it's like GTA, right? Like you don't play GTA for like the main story. You want to just go off and do silly things.
Yeah, but I mean, even GTA, the main story was a main story.
Right. It was at least the game had a story.
Right, and didn't have a fake choose your faction intro thing, right?
Okay.
So like, can I fully discuss Cyberpunk?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right.
Already bet out, whatever.
Yeah. All right. So mainly the whole thing about Cyberpunk 2077 is that you're a guy or a girl or binary or non-binary. You could choose whatever you want, but you're this person named V. You start off like in like your own intro section, depending on the 3 factions, but that's fake because right after like I think maybe 30 minutes of the game, it goes to the main game where everything is the same. Where you do this big heist. The big heist went bad, and you get fucking a home dude, Keanu Reeves, stuck in your head saying "Samurai, wake the fuck up," shit, right? And he's slowly, technically eating your body, or he's possessing your body. Yeah. So when you died, right? Your player dies with Keanu Reeves in your head, like a chip in your head, and he brought you back to life, just only to say like, oh yeah, so when I brought you back to life, I'm like slowly taking over your body because of it. Because your character was already dead from the very beginning. And so you're going through all of this trying to see like, oh, is there a way to save yourself? There's no way to save yourself. So you got to do like 3 things, right? You either let Johnny, I think his name is Johnny in the game, Keanu Reeves. You let him take over your body, or you erase him for your body, or you put yourself in a state where they make a physical brain out of like in a memory stick just for you and put you in a machine forever kind of thing until they figure out a way. So they preserve your brain or some shit.
It's like, which one is the good ending?
Yeah, exactly, right? There's just really no good ending. And when you like complete it, it's just like, I guess this is the end, and like there's no new game, so it's like it's weird. It's like I don't mind. I guess I kind of don't mind the ending, but in the same time, is what was all this for? Why would I even play this again? For? Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, in 6 months I'm gonna die. Why do what I do now? Kind of thing.
Right. I mean, that's a deeper subject matter.
Yeah,
like
it is.
If you were like terminally ill, it's like you're gonna die in 6 months, and it's like, what do you do in that time? Like, does anything matter? But I mean,
like, okay, in real life, it does matter. You can live out the best of your life, but the problem is that in the game itself, you're, instead of like living your best life or something like that, you're going ahead and you're messing with like the government, or you're messing with some shit like that doesn't really relate to you. You know,
right?
So it's a weird thought inside the game itself. That's why I kind of put it in like 5, because it does have some cool parts in it. It does have side quests where you like talk to a vending machine or some shit, and you help them. You help them with something. It's a side quest with a vending machine. You talk to a vending machine. That's pretty, like, it's out of the world, out of the ordinary type of thing.
Right.
The guns are cool. Gameplay is nice. For some odd reason, it's not like GTA where the what you call it, the police chase you around. They don't chase you at all. It's just weird.
Yeah, I think there was somebody. One of the developers was playing on Steam, and somebody in the chat was just like, "Why doesn't the game have a police system where the police chase you? There's plenty of other games that have that." And like, he was just like, got pissed off and was like, "Well, Mario doesn't have it, and Sonic doesn't have it in their game," and then it's just like,
those
dude,
aren't the
like,
type of games.
of course they don't have it. Those aren't the type of games that have a police system. So it was just, yeah, it wasn't really a good response. I think like they did like some PR response after that, but it's just silly.
But that's my 5 for Cyberpunk 2077. What's your 5?
All right, that was number 5. All right, my number 5 is Nintendo All-Star Brawl.
Wait, what's that?
That's the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Wait, did I say Nintendo?
You said Nintendo. I was like, what's Nintendo All-Star Brawl? I was like, shit, I missed that game?
My bad. The Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl game.
Nintendo.
Literally don't even remember the name of the game. Okay, anyways. Yeah, so that's the Smash game with the Nick characters, you know, good old SpongeBob and Aang and Ninja Turtles and April O'Neil. Yeah, I really didn't have a lot of games to choose from when it came to my top 5 worst, because I don't typically play games if I think they're going to be bad, or if I don't like them, I just don't even pick them up. So there weren't many games that I played that I thought made the list, and there were some games that literally I just don't care about, so I wouldn't have put it on my list either. So number 5 for me is the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, because it just, I don't understand why so many people hyped up this game. It was announced pretty much shortly after Sora was announced. And I think it came out literally the same day or like the week before Sora came out or something like that. And it was it didn't look great. They didn't have voices, and that I think that made it a little bit worse for me. Is like
they had voices, didn't they?
They don't. No, there's no voices. So there's no SpongeBob voice. There's no Aang voice. The Ninja Turtles don't have voice. April, Danny Phantom, like none of the characters have voices.
In the trailer, they said, "Oh, there's voice acting."
No, there's no voice acting in the game whatsoever.
But you cannot confirm in the trailer they did put voice acting in it, right?
I don't remember. I think in like the initial trailer they did have like, you know, SpongeBob talking or like Patrick talking or whatever. But yeah, in the actual game there are no voices. So
That's crazy.
Imagine playing Smash, right? There's no voices. You just have sound effects and music, and that's it. And that's Nickelodeon All-Star.
Yeah, that's no energy.
Like, yeah, now the game already lacks the polish that Smash Brothers bring, but then you don't have the sound. Like SpongeBob's laugh is iconic, and like if that being in the game, that would have made that game, you know. Mm-hmm. But just like not having anything, not having it, like they literally have the meme of the "No, this is Patrick" is one of his taunts or whatever. Not having Nigel Thornberry saying "Smasher," you know, not having these things in this game with these characters just makes it just feel like empty somewhat.
Yeah, it's like it's just a skin almost.
Right. It feels like it's a skin, but then it's just, I mean, it's just a skin. Mm-hmm. But the move's a bit different. Anyways, well, yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't play it. And I hope if they do make another game like this that tries to compete with Smash, they actually put some more time and effort into it, because you got to come harder than that. Yeah. But that's my number 5. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Okay. Now we're on to 4.
Number 4.
We're doing this quickly, man. This is great.
Yeah.
So my number 4 for the worst games of 2021 is New World. New World is an MMORPG.
Oh boy.
By Amazon Studios, Amazon Game Studios. I am still playing this game, but like not as regular. I reached to like pretty much level 40, and the max I think is level 60. So I know pretty much most of the game because I watch streamers as well do it as well.
Okay.
So I have a lot of things about it, right? So
Right.
New World story, there's really no story. Like it's the same thing like the last game I said. Like the side stories are probably the coolest things out there, but even that, the side story is just you don't care about it. It's like you made a don't care. This game was made as a PvP game. Then they put in the PvE aspect of the game.
Yeah,
that's what they did to this game, and it shows. It's really bad.
Yeah.
So story is bad. Okay, there's books everywhere and shit too, just for lore, and that's somehow not in the side story. That's really weird to me. Like leveling is bad. I went through, like I said, 1 to 40, and going from 30 is so difficult just to get experience in the goddamn game. You either have to spam dungeons, right? And there's only like 5 dungeons in the game so far. Like imagine Final Fantasy 14. You only have 5 dungeons. How boring that can get.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of people at level 30 just die out, because you're doing a lot of work and you don't get anything back.
I mean, shit, imagine a game with no story whatsoever.
Yeah, no story whatsoever. That's fucked as well. But yeah, like
But yeah, they like you said, they pretty much, the game was made to be a PvP game, but they realized at the last minute, like, oh, we're gonna alienate a lot of player bases by coming out with this MMO, but making it PvP only.
And like the PvP is great too. Like I like the PvP. I like the combat in PvP. Until you start to realize, I try not to put bugs. I'm trying not to put bugs in my top 5, but the bugs does cause gameplay to get worse.
I mean, yeah. If you have problems with the game,
So, for example, okay,
period. Yeah. There's some bugs that are like game breaking, and for certain people that breaks immersion, and that can ruin your game. I mean, it is what it is.
when I started playing the game, there was this one bug I couldn't figure out what was going on until I watched a YouTube video. I saw now why I couldn't hit people. So in PvP, you can, of course, y'all can hit each other. I was hitting this one person over and over again. Nothing was happening to him. I was figuring out like what's going on. So they patched this already, but there's more broken things. So what happened is that if you take your client, right, in the middle of a game or middle of fighting, you shake your client around with your mouse, the game acts as if the client is asleep and they don't get any damage, or nothing is transactional to the client, so they will never get hit.
Oh, I see.
Because it'll never reach the client.
Right.
And so people abuse this system. And were able to nullify all damage. Now they fixed it, but with some other misadvantages, which made me really kind of giving up on the game, right? Because already it's really hard to level up. You
right.
Like for crafting especially, you go from 0 to 200, and going to 0 to 200 is a long time, like just for gathering and crafting. Now, when I'm crafting, I'm selling it off onto the market. Apparently, when they fixed the last bug I talked about, they also broke another bug. If you sell all your stuff onto the market and someone buys it off of you, you don't get your money back because you're not online.
What?
So I lost so much money from selling all my stuff, and I don't get the money back. It's just gone now. And I never knew about it. I was like, oh shit, I pretty much need to start my game all over again, kind of thing. Like, because so I started a new character, and it's right now it's like a level 35. It's
oh my goodness.
It was the worst thing I ever thought that could happen. Imagine that's happening in Final Fantasy. All your retainers, right? You couldn't get your money back.
No, I'm just over here wondering, like, fuck, what's past this? Why is this only number 4? Because that's awful. No, but I guess because you just awful. Didn't have.
There are more awful things.
Oh goodness! Okay.
There is more awful. But that's my number 4, New World, and I still play New World, just barely.
Just barely. Oh my goodness!
All right.
I guess on to my number 4. My number 4 of the top 5 worst will be GTA Remastered Definitive Edition.
Oh yeah, I was about to put that on my list as well, bro. The fucking go ahead, man. Fill my cup, sir. Fill my cup. I want the tea.
Okay, so GTA is a game that's kind of near and dear to me. Eventually, I'm going to make a video that I'm gonna put a lot of effort into. I'm not gonna give away that video, but GTA is very near and dear to me. From GTA 3, I played as a child with Mayix, and we played, one of us died, the other person take over type thing. I mean, if you have siblings, you have brothers or sisters that play games with you, that's what you did back in the days when you played a single player game. Somebody died, the other person,
has a controller.
Has a controller, yeah. So yeah, Grand Theft Auto 3, I spent hours. I'm not hours. I can't even describe how much time that we put into GTA 3. Just goofing off. Like, it was just goofing off. I think Vice City I didn't put as much time into in GTA 3 because for some reason I just didn't like Vice City as much. I think I ended up going back and playing more of GTA 3 after I beat Vice City. But San Andreas, I'm sure I put twice as much as both those other games in San Andreas alone. The amount of time we put into that game. So good. Like, being able to go to the gym and lift weights. Yeah. I don't think that's in the Definitive Edition. Like, you can't,
Really?
I'm not gonna make speculations, but the first thing that I want to talk about, this Definitive Edition, right? The remastering they did, some of the stuff looks good, but then when you look at the character models, some of it looks like mobile game status, spamware.
I saw that shit.
Awful.
Yeah.
Some of the characters, I'm like, how do you make this character look worse? This game came out on PS2. Like, what? This is definitive? Like, you remastered? I don't know what you want to call it.
Technically remaster.
Technically, right. And about that, the whole thing was done by an AI, correct?
Yep.
So that's why when they did the upscaling of the graphics, a lot of things, like if there were words or billboards, were like misspelled and they were like typos because they didn't even actually work on this. They just had a program to upscale everything.
But they've been working on this for 2 years, though, huh?
Right. And it's like, you didn't even go back and autocorrect any of that? You just released it. It's good. Give us the money. People love these games. Mm-hmm. So pretty much taking advantage of people's nostalgia and love for the franchise to try to make money off people. And they released a crappy product.
It's a mama milker, man.
Mama milker. The game had plenty of bugs and glitch. And I mean, that was the thing I liked, right, about Grand Theft Auto was playing that. Like, we played that game, we did so much shit, we found so many bugs and glitches in Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Hold on real quick. Hold on. Sorry, I need to be right back. I totally forgot something on the stove. I apologize.
What you leave on the stove?
I'll keep this in here, but I fucking burnt my fucking salmon.
What? You started cooking salmon and then left it? It was just like, all right, podcast.
Bro, I'm telling you, my mind is out of nowhere, man.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm gonna have burnt salmon for dinner.
Anyways, God. You just gonna have to take that bottom off and just, well, I don't know how bad it got burnt, but
it's alright.
Anyways, so you continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I apologize. I'll leave that in though.
That's fine. Let the people know that you can't cook.
Yep. I can't. No, I can cook. I just forget things. That's it.
Yeah, about to burn your house down.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I mean, GTA, it was buggy. I mean, of course, regular GTA was buggy, but then the definitive edition was even more buggy with even more glitches. Which honestly, I'm kind of just like, I mean, that's what Grand Theft Auto is kind of known for me, is being buggy. So I'm just fine with that. It would make the game actually more fun. But on top of that, they removed some of the music. Some of the licensed music was removed because of obvious licensing agreements. Because it's like if they try to make, it's just kind of like we were talking about Smash. If they try to make another Smash, they probably wouldn't give the rights to all the characters again. So the next Smash game would probably not be as good as Smash Ultimate because it would be missing specific characters that you might not, get approval to use these characters. Ooh, excuse me, I had to sneeze.
Oh,
so yeah, it's missing music, yet it's called the Definitive Edition, and they actually removed some of the cheat codes from the game.
What?
So yeah, they removed some of the cheat codes from the game. And I'm just like, bro, like the cheat codes, like music, I can kind of understand. It would hurt that music is missing, because I mean, I don't know what songs are missing, but like it's iconic, it's nostalgic. Some of people's favorite songs are just gone. But then to remove some of the cheat codes too, which was like the big selling point, I feel, for Grand Theft Auto, was that it had cheat codes in it, and then games later on that would copy Grand Theft Auto would literally put the cheat codes in their games. Like, you could just unlock infinite health or infinite ammo because that's what Grand Theft Auto had in it. But it was like, oh well, we're not even gonna put a code in there. You can just click this button after you beat the game and you can unlock an infinite cheat code,
Yeah.
But yeah, they removed some of the cheat codes from the game. So like with all of that combined, I'm just like, how dare these people try to sell you something and call it the remastered definitive edition?
It's not a full game anymore.
Yeah, I mean, they knew what they were doing because they took the single games off the market so that you couldn't buy them, and then they released this combo definitive edition, so you had to buy this.
Yeah, I remember.
So it's like you couldn't buy like Grand Theft Auto 3 separately. Like, Nintendo did the same thing though with the Mario games, but then Nintendo made the Mario game like a limited time thing or whatever, and that shit was scummy too. Cause I mean, I think we ended up buying it, but it's just sitting over there. We never opened it. And so you could say I'm part of the problem too, because I really shouldn't have bought it. But that's what you learn. But yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5 Definitive Edition. It's awful. One of the things I don't know about, because I couldn't find any articles or anybody telling me about it, because I didn't pick up the game myself. In Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, there's a mode where you can actually play co-op with somebody, like cross, on your couch, couch co-op.
Don't tell me.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's in there or not. Maybe somebody who's watching this podcast who played the game might be able to put in the comments down below if that was in the game.
Let me know. The most craziest thing is that modders like fixed this game or made it way better. And they were getting they were like, what, I don't know the actual word for it, but like they were getting sued, or you're getting DMCA strike or some shit like that. Yeah, they were getting, because they were modding the game, and the developers like, no, and they're like, we're making your game better, bro. That's so dumb.
It's like, yeah, you should be hiring these people, not fucking trying to get in these people careers. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, that's number 4 for me.
Okay. Well, now up to number 3. So number 3 for me. Now, I haven't really played this game before, but I've watched many videos of it. Marvel's Avengers.
What?
Marvel's Avengers. Okay. So
Marvel Avengers.
Remember that game?
Yeah. That didn't come out last year.
That came out last year.
No. Spider-Man came out last year for Marvel's Avengers, but Marvel Avengers came out in 2020.
Are you serious?
And Google search it right now.
Oh my god! I was convinced. This came out last year.
I'm not gonna lie, because I had it on my list too, and I had researched it, and I was just like, oh, wait, no, the game actually released in 2020. It released August 14, 2020. But if you look at the website, it'll say like it released this last year. But it was the Spider-Man DLC that got released.
Dude!
But the game came out in 2020.
You know what? I'll put in my list anyways, man. The fucking website. I went to the website and it was saying 2021.
Yeah. It got you.
They got me twice.
Go ahead.
Alright. Okay, for a lot of you people don't know, Marvel's Avengers is a game where you play as your favorite heroes from the Marvel's universe. You have Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow, Hulk, Thor, Black Widow.
Never heard of these people.
You never? Okay, shut up. I'm on that fuck you attitude now.
Yeah, fuck you.
But yeah, so all these heroes, plus more, like the Elastic Girl and Black Panther, all that. These are DLC characters and whatnot, right? So your whole entire goal is pretty much stop like an evil organization or some shit like that, right? And so you're slowly going up to there because the Marvel Avengers got framed for some shit, which is like an interesting storyline, right? It's interesting. Mm-hmm. They got framed for something. All heroes went into hiding, and they come back up and raise back up again to save the world and their name. Now, it's a little bit weird because how it all began with this girl, this the Elastic Girl, from the trailers and whatnot, and I guess she's an okay character, but to me she was very whiny, and I couldn't really just listen to her sometimes. And so I'll be honest with you, even watching somebody play through it, I just put it in the background and try to just tune her out, because I didn't really care for her. And I know she's a really good Avenger, right? But the whole story just doesn't click. They try to put everything into one game of oh, let's build the Avengers up, right? Because it's cool to building something, but they don't just say these are the Avengers, you know? It's we already know, for example, we already know Batman's storyline. You know, when he was a kid, his parents got murdered. We don't need to repeatedly get, we don't need this shit stuffed down our throat, you know? And so to me, having the story like this is just really upsetting to me, because we know who they are. We don't need all this setup anymore, right? So that's one. Two, gameplay is shit. Gameplay is super shit. The reason why is because you have boundaries around certain areas, right? Meaning that as Iron Man and Thor, you can't fly that high,
right?
And it's understandable because there's some limitations, but you have to realize, if you're playing as Iron Man, you're playing as Thor, you want to go skyrocket. You want to fucking fly,
right?
Shit.
Yeah, you want to fly.
You want to be you want
to feel like these heroes.
Exactly. And so if you can't fly like that, you can't be those heroes. Spider-Man came out this year, right? Spider-Man, he can only web sling so far. It's what the fuck is this? And we waited how many years for Spider-Man? And it's a PlayStation exclusive. And you get this shit. Even his attacks was just so rubbish.
Yeah, I mean, when I first heard about the game, I'd already been through the cycle of games like this. I was just kind of very skeptical. And then when the game came out and I saw everybody playing it, and this dude's playing Thor, and he's just fighting regular dudes, and I'm just did he just hit him with his hammer and that man's head did not come off? What?
No, here's the thing.
That stuff don't make sense.
It doesn't.
Makes the superheroes feel like they're not themselves. It's obviously this is supposed to be off the movie characters, right? But they feel like bootlegs of those characters. It's instead of
get the dollar menu.
Yeah.
The dollar menu.
The dollar menu version of your heroes.
Yeah, the dollar menu.
Yeah, Tony Stark and Captain Maricus. I don't know.
Captain Maurice, man. What are you talking about?
Captain Maurice.
But yeah, gameplay is really not that solid. Even I've seen certain I've seen the whole fight when they fought Taskmaster. Yeah. You have the fucking Hulk.
Yeah. You
have Thor, Captain America, and there's just fight back, nigga, fight back. They keep on fighting him, And like the Taskmaster's just not moving. He's just like,
he's just stun locked from all the hits, and all you hear is just like pots and pans banging each other.
But like the thing is, it's like you're getting hit by the fucking Hulk.
Yeah.
Like what? You know, like what is this? Like get this stinky shit out of here.
It's like it's Taskmaster. Taskmaster is a regular person. He's just a master of pretty much, copying other people's moves. But if Thor was to punch Taskmaster, he would be gone.
Yeah, exactly. The thing with that too is like, Taskmaster just became just a soak-sucking villain. That's it. And
right.
It's he wasn't himself. Like I would imagine Taskmaster nimble as possible, like Spider-Man, right. Because he copies Spider-Man moves.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would have been cool. Like, oh, he's copying Spider-Man moves. Oh, that'd be cool. But no, he's like whatever. He's like another type of villain. And even the villains, those you only have 2 villains you recognize. Every boss is just robots. It's a robot game. It's a robot game. It's like
fight a bunch of robots.
It's really ridiculous that they made this game just for the hype. Like we already mentioned games already that's only here for the mama milkies. This is the mama milk. This is the mama milk. All right. But that's my third. Take it or leave it.
Oh boy. All right. So my number 3 for the top 5 worst is Balan Wonderworld.
Who?
I know there's probably a lot of people who are just like, what? I never even heard of this game.
I wonder why.
So Balan Wonderworld was, I guess, the game is by Square Enix, right? And when the game was announced, people thought this would be the spiritual successor to Knights. If you don't know what Knights is an old Sega Saturn game.
Oh, okay.
It's called Knights in a Dream.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's young. I don't know, youngsters. They probably don't know who that is, but that's what Balan Wonderland was supposed to be. What you got out of it though, was a mess. So the game technically is a platformer, and it's a platformer to a certain degree, but it's a very bad platformer. It's like,
how can you mess that up?
Like PS2 levels of gameplay for platforming. So I don't even know how to. I'm not going to describe the story of this game. I cannot. It's all over the place. It's random nonsense. There was like at one point this girl, she had a friend with a dolphin. The dolphin turned evil and hurt her.
What?
So that she had to...
The dolphin? What the fuck?
So yeah, I'm not gonna try to explain the story of this game. It's stupid. But yeah, the gameplay is just terrible. The platforming is awful. Like I said, it's like PS2 level of platforming. The game gave you very terrible power-ups. So you have these power-ups that you would get in certain levels, but they're like the basic of the basic type power levels. Like, okay, one of these powers, it was gave you like a fire head, like your head was on fire, and you would use that to light candles. And that was it.
Excuse me?
And then there was another power where you turn into like this dragon, and it shoots like a very small like fireball forward. And it's like a fireball, like do you know who Dan Hibiki is from Street Fighter?
Yeah.
fireball looking like.
No.
It's one of those fireballs that don't go nowhere and it looks super weak. Yeah. They had another power where it turns you to a box, but you can't choose when it turns you to a box, and it does it randomly. So if you like jump and then you turn into a box, you would just go straight down and you just fall. There was another power where you could summon ladders. So at that point, they were like, "Oh, this game then turned into Death Stranding. I could just summon this tall ladder and just walk up this area." But yeah, the powers are awful. Some of the powers repeated. They had like 2 powers where you can like butt slam, but one of the powers like you can hover slightly, like you know how Luigi does in Super Mario 2.
Yeah.
You would do that, but the other power you jump like regular Mario does. But yeah, the powers are awful. They had another power allow you to walk on water. They had another power allow you to walk on lava. Another power.
This is action adventure. Like what?
Yeah, it's a. I don't even know what genre. Yeah, it's a platform action. No, platform adventure game is what it's called. This game came out on everything. I'm talking about PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, Xbox Series S and X, and Microsoft Windows.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Yeah, it's
never heard of it.
God awful. So okay, all terrible powers aside, terrible platforming, wacky story aside, after you beat a level, you will get this sequence, and I'm gonna need you to put this sequence in at this point. You'll get a sequence where you and another character would walk towards each other like y'all about to kiss. It would fade to white, and then you would be surrounded by all the enemies in the level, and then you would break down into a dance number. And everybody would start dancing, and they got this woman singing in the background. Oh my god, it was just, I was just like, what the fuck is going on at this point? It's it's literally probably one of the worst games I've ever seen.
So they didn't kiss. Like what?
No. Like it's like you're playing a child. They're not gonna have
Wait.
a child.
This is all a children game, but you can turn to a fucking dragon and a fucking candle head creature.
Just me describing you turning into a dragon probably sounds crazy, but it is not what you think it is. It's not. It's much more pathetic than you think it is. Like, there's even one power I remember where you turn into a vacuum cleaner.
Oh
so, my! So
who's this game for?
Who is this game for? Because it's not for people who like Dream. It's not for people who like platforming. It's not for anybody. Obviously, the game did not do well. It's. I mean, maybe some, child at the age of 8 maybe got this for Christmas. It was like, I love this game. This is like their first game ever.
Jesus.
That's what it feels like. It feels like baby's first game. You do not listen. If you take anything from these top 5s, take this from me. Do not play this game. Just don't. Oh yeah, by the way, this game was full priced when it came out.
What do you mean full price?
I mean like a full price. If you bought this on PS5, you're paying $70 for this video game.
What?
Yeah.
70?
Full price video game.
That
was my number
shit.
3.
That is fucking shit. No, the fuck way. That's stupid as fuck. Alright. Let me go ahead and get this number 2 out the way.
Wait, huh? You need to rephrase that, sir.
What do you mean?
You said, let me go ahead and get this number 2 out the way,
Yeah. Because this is trash. Like, bro, even 1 is more trash than this. Like, if I have this as number 2, think of just number 1. Number 2, okay. Battlefield 2042.
Okay, all right.
Now I put Battlefield 2042 and Vanguard together because they're both kind of shit games and they're like the same state. Okay, but I'm going to mainly talk about Battlefield 2042.
Okay.
Battlefield 2042, there's no story, so already is shit. Already is shit because you know why? The multiplayer is shit.
Right.
Multiplayer is shit. Tell me what goes through your mind where you're when the game first started, like the IP first started, right? They had a formula. The formula is you like Battlefield. You are a game that have all these specialist classes, like you have the engineer, like the scout, the healer and all that, and you have a role in the battlefield and like in squads or whatnot. You can destroy buildings, you can go to certain places, you can ride fucking airplanes and fucking cars and shit, right?
Okay.
They broke all that shit. So now you can fucking ride a hovercraft onto buildings and shit.
Oh my goodness! How? What?
And like the craziest thing to me is that like you could try to blow it up on the building or whatnot. It really wouldn't do as much damage as you think. Like weapons are just like unbalanced with the vehicles. Like vehicles is just like fucking impossible to kill. Okay, so there's that. What I mentioned classes, right? No, there's no classes here. There's specialists like Apex Legends specialists. You know, you have
I see.
You have a person named Mark, right? And Mark is like a scout person, but he has special moves that defines him, and it differs from other specialists that are also recon, like April, right? That literally have wall hacks in a fucking Battlefield game, alright? This is not Battlefield. This is a battle royale with specialists. That's what this game is, and it's not good at all. The only way to get back to the roots of it is using it was some type of mode inside of Battlefield 2042, where the mode is that you can play back to the regular games and any map from the other battlefields and any like outfits or anything like that. Like you could have Battlefield 4 gear on, but you're in World War II. You know, that's pretty cool. You know, it kind of experiments with a lot of things.
Yeah, pretty much what they should have done is made the game into a mode and seen what the people thought about it before making that the full game with the specialists and stuff. Because I mean, I know one thing when it comes to Call of Duty, every time they come out with another Call of Duty, they always talk about boots on the ground. They're like, oh yeah, going back to boots on the ground. Yeah, boots on the ground. And then this game comes out, you got hovercrafts going up walls, and it's like, what part of hovercrafts going up walls is boots on the ground?
Yeah, like it disappoints me because like one of the main reasons why it's on top of my list like this is because it's a multiplayer game. It's no longer it's not a single player at all now, and so they have more time to work on this multiplayer, and it's still shit. Like the servers are shit.
Yeah.
The rendering is shit. Like they have voice acting for each specialist, and it sounds cringy as fuck, and it sounds like Fortnite characters talking. That's what it sounds like. Like imagine you're in a battlefield and whatnot. You murdered people for your country and all that, and then in the winning screen it's like, oh man, yeah, I killed that guy. Yeah, it was something cringy. I can't mimic it because it was so bad. Like I'm like
tone deaf.
I'm like, holy shit!
It's like your team wins or whatever, and it's like, yeah, I killed a bunch of people, and then some guy comes out. It's like, GG nerds.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, huh? Hey, what? GG no re? What? No.
It's
not what you say.
It's so bad. They forgot what Battlefield was. Like I and all I did was watch this thing. Like I wanted this for my birthday. I said to my brother, hey, if you want me to get me anything, give me this for my birthday. It's like, oh, all right, man, I'll get it too. I'll play with you. And then when we like heard the news of the beta and everything, he was texting me like, you still want this game, man? You still want this game? Like, I don't know. Let me give it like 2 weeks after it comes out. 2 weeks after it come out, I'm like, nah, I don't want to play this game. I don't want to buy this game. If you have to pay $70 just to get this game, like, no, it's not worth $70. It's not worth $60. It's not worth like $10. I feel.
Yeah, no.
So Battlefield 2042, you fucking suck. All right, what's your number 2?
My number 2 in our top 5 worst is Disgaea 6.
Oh, is it that Final Fantasy Versus thing?
Huh? No, Disgaea.
Oh! I was thinking of Dissidia. My bad.
Yeah, no, not Dissidia. Disgaea. I love Disgaea. It's a
Who's guy?
It's a turn-based strategy RPG, and is known for being extremely wacky with wacky characters, over-the-top special attacks, and just a ludicrous story most of the time. Disgaea 6 is the newest entry of the Disgaea games. I have either seen or played every one. I played 2 through 6 now, but I only watched someone play 1 because that was when I first was introduced to it. Ken was the first person to introduce me into Disgaea, and he played Disgaea 1, and I played Disgaea 2, and so on and so forth. Disgaea 6. So in this new entry, they decided to use 3D models. So Disgaea is known for having 2D models, and it utilizes it very well. And some people might look at it and be like, it's kind of weird to have 2D models in a turn-based RPG, but it's fine. Like, you don't need 3D models for this game. I feel like there's plenty of other games that have 2D models, like Final Fantasy Tactics. You have 2D models. That game runs pretty good. I don't think you need the 3D models. Mm-hmm. So they did 3D models. So the problem with this, right, is they implemented these 3D models for this game, but they don't really do much with it. So you still have your 3-dimensional board with your 2D models, but then the poses that the characters have. So usually in the old games, they would use like 2 or 3 poses to kind of emote when the characters talk in like story scenes or whatever. They do the same thing here, but now you have these full rendered 3D models, but you only have 3 or 4 poses. They would have like a lift pose where they just throw their arms up in the air. They would have like a fist punch out pose, Usually if you use like a fist weapon, you like punch out.
Yeah.
They might have like a hurt pose, like when the character gets hurt, the like, ugh, I got hit type pose. And then like a neutral idle pose when they're just standing there. And that's pretty much it. So when you play through the story and you have these 3D models and the characters are talking to each other, you usually the story is done in like a storyboard. So like you'll see like a picture or like a drawn animation of the character, and it'll be like a story time game. You know what I mean? Where there's text at the bottom, you see the person talking, and you'll just see like a picture of the character on the top.
Oh, it's like one of those old time 2D type thing. Okay.
Yeah, and that's how they tell the story. But then
in a 3D game.
Yeah, exactly. In this, then you have the 3D models, and the 3D models when they're in the story, they're talking to each other, but they're just doing like the same couple of poses here and there. So they're not really utilizing the 3D models. So it's like, what was the point of even making 3D models? Like, that's just extra resource that could have went elsewhere, that y'all went into making these 3D models that you don't even utilize properly. But then there is there's a graphics setting. So the problem I have with this setting, like having options is good. This game only came out for the Switch in America. This game came out on PS4 in Japan and Switch, but in America it only came out on Switch. So there's a graphics settings on this game that allows you to prioritize graphics or frame rate. If you choose graphics, you will get the choppiest, most garbage frame rate I've
frame
rate I've ever seen, where it's like going from like 23 to like 17. Like it's jumping, it's awful, it's unplayable. The middle is supposed to be balanced, it's also awful. It's still, the frame rate is still terrible. So I choose to prioritize frame rate over graphics because I never played Disgaea for graphics to begin with, so I don't care about the graphics as much as I care about having a smooth gameplay experience. So yeah, that setting is awful, and I feel like had they released the game on PS4 and I played it on PS4, this would not have been a problem. But because they only released it on Switch for us in America, it made it that more obvious that the Switch can't really handle it. And it makes no sense because the game isn't that graphically intense that the Switch can't handle it. Like, I don't know what they did with this game where...
Is it like a... Are they like 3D models to where like... They're like... Are they like... Hold on. Are they like polygon 3D models? Or yes. Are they 3D... Oh my god.
I mean...
I was thinking like 3D models like at least like Final Fantasy 14 kind of 3D models.
I mean, they're like little chibi 3D models.
Oh my god.
Chibi aesthetics was kind of Disgaea's whole aesthetics, but they did that to render like a full-grown character, but it was like an art picture, right? But it would be like a little small character. That was kind of necessary, like, but then when you have these 3D models, the characters just look like chibi instead of doing like full design models. I'll just show you a picture of it later so you to understand what it looks like. But I mean, the people watching this, there'll probably be a video in the background. They'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, so the graphic settings was awful. So on top of that, they also have gender lock classes. So this is new to this game because before, if you were a warrior, you could choose to be a warrior male or female. If you were a mage, you could be a mage male or female. Like there were male and female versions of not all, most of the classes. Not every class had a male and female version. But this one, they made it to where all classes only had one. So If you were a warrior, you could only be male. If you were a mage, you could only be female. There's no reason in an RPG you should have gender lock classes. There's no reason, especially when they existed before, and you take it out in the future game because you just don't want to make another 3D render. Like, you're just like, I don't want to make another 3D render for the same class. Who cares? They'll just play the male version, or they'll just play the female version if they want that class. So I don't really need to go into detail. Anybody who understands the gender lock classes, like there's probably some people out there like, I don't care, I'll play whatever class. Everybody isn't like that. There are people like, if you like, even like Tim, right?
He'd be a male samurai.
He wanted to be a samurai, right? But the samurai is only female. So when I made his character in the game, I had to make him a female samurai because there were no male samurais.
But so, like, I don't understand. Like, what's the purpose of doing this?
What's the purpose? Is so they don't have to make multiple 3D models. And I'll get to exactly why they did this a little bit later. But yeah, on top of their having gender lock classes, old classes were missing. So certain classes were just not in the game, like Geomancer, like Beastmaster, Majin. These classes are just not in the game whatsoever. So not only did you limit classes by making certain classes specific genders, you then took out classes that were in the game before. Like, why didn't you make those classes? And I mean, the Majin has been, I think, a staple for like the OP created character that you could make. And it was like the best created character you made. Like, his stats were always ridiculous, but it's like the last class you unlock, and they just didn't have it in this one. So what they did was, for every character, every class, every character had unique moves. And this is why they didn't want to make male and female versions. So for like the warrior, he had 3 unique moves. One where he would pull out an axe and like chop you, and then like jump in the air and like throw you into a boulder or something. He had another move where he would take out an axe, it would light on fire and turn into like a flaming sword, and he like spin and do like a little spin flame attack.
Okay.
So yeah, all these characters had 3 unique moves that you would get, and like that was it. So this is why they didn't want to make male and female versions, because they made fully rendered 3D attacks using the 3D models, which was the whole point of the 3D models, is to have a more, I guess, engaging 3D attack. So like the special moves back in the days were crazy. They were crazy. I mean, explosions, slicing the world in half with Dimension Sword, just crazy stuff. So it's known for having crazy attacks. These attacks are crazy, and they look nice to look at in the beginning because it's rendered in 3D. It's like, oh, this looks really nice to look at in 3D. See like the model and everything. But it's just there's no reason for it.
But I'm wondering, is that like, if this is like 3D rigged, right?
Right.
Wouldn't you just put a skin over it?
I'm not sure. Like, dude, Monster Hunter Rise plays on the Switch, so it's like I don't understand why this game had any limitations. But I don't want to get into the whole nother game. So yeah, every class only had 3 skills, but then they took out the weapon skills. Again, I'm talking about stuff that you only know if you play Disgaea. So weapon skills, every weapon that you had on the game, there's a limit number of weapons. Like you had a sword, you had a spear, you had bow, you had axe, you had staff. All these weapons had weapon action skills. So as you use the weapons, you would level up your weapon level skill with that weapon, and you would unlock new skills with that weapon, which is like most RPGs. That's what you do. In this game, there are no weapon skills at all. Leveling up your weapon does not give you any skills with the weapon. So in this game, you only have your class skills. Those 3 skills that they give you, that's all you get in the entire game. That's it. So there are no more weapon skills. So it makes it to where if I were to make a warrior and give him an axe, and then I make another warrior and give him a sword, these characters are exactly the same, despite me giving one a sword and giving one an axe. So it limits customization, because one, I can't make one female, they both have to be male. Even if he has a sword and he has an axe, they have the same moves because they're the same class. So it limits the customization you have with characters. So if I run into like another warrior on a map, I know, oh, this warrior is going to have the same attacks I have. Like and you're going to end up seeing the same moves over and over and over and over and over and over. So on top of that, you have monsters in this game. So monsters used to be unique. They used to have the ability to magic change. So monsters would literally turn into weapons, and you could use the monster as a weapon and fight with it. And it would be like a supercharged, like giant great sword or something like that. They took that out. That's not in this game at all. The monsters are now just humans. So monsters can literally just have any weapon that a human can have. So monsters can have bows, they can have axes, they can have staffs. But again, there are no weapon action skills, so it doesn't matter. They could just use whatever weapon, and then they have their own 3 little class skills that they use or whatever. Also, the monsters can lift and throw now too, because they're practically just humans. So the monsters are not monsters anymore. There's no weapon action change. So eventually, after seeing the same 3 moves of a character, it'll get kind of repetitive and tedious, especially in a game that is as grindy as it is. Because in this game, they increase the level cap and the stat cap on everything. The level cap for Disgaea 6 was I think 9,999,999,999,999. That's the level cap for Disgaea 6.
What?
So when you do like the first map, the first stage, all your classes level to like 120. Just
oh no.
So it makes numbers so ridiculous that it just like it's not even comprehensible. You know what I mean? Like the numbers are so large. It's like, oh, I mean, okay, I'm
Why
on the
didn't they
5th
just scale it?
and yeah, I'm like I'm on the 5th stage and I'm level 1000 already. It just makes it meaningless. So it's like after a while it just feels meaningless. Like, okay, I just need to be at max. Like it trivialized it because they upped the numbers so much. Because I mean that was another thing this guy was known for, is having these really big outrageous numbers. Like, oh look, you did 100 million damage in one attack, and like, oh, that's crazy. But because that was what the series was known for. So in this one they were like, well, people like big numbers, so let's make the numbers bigger. So they made the numbers bigger.
Ooh, big number. I like that.
Big number. Yeah, I like to see. When I say big number, I mean if you were to really grind out this game, you could do damage so big it literally does not fit the screen, and it will overlap with itself. That's how big the number was.
Wow.
So it's just at a certain point, it's just like I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I was just, it's like, is he dead? Okay. Oh my god. So yeah, they increased the level cap, which of course increased the stat cap, and you have ridiculous numbers. So the game obviously is going to be extreme grind fest, because you can reincarnate in this game. If you know what reincarnation is, when you hit the level cap, you can reincarnate your character, go back to level 1, but all his stats will increase. So in order to min-max in this
gosh.
game, you have to level to 9,999,999,999 multiple times on multiple characters.
Oh my god.
So in order to make this faster, they added a fast forward button into the game. So the fast forward button pretty much makes the battles go super fast, but you would still have to move the characters yourself. So they added an AI control feature in this game. So now you can program an AI system to pretty much make the character move towards the enemy, attack the enemy. You could choose what attack they do, and you can set this on all your characters. So your character would automatically go through. It's like a program.
I
literally
know what this
program
game
the
is.
character.
It's an AFK
Yeah.
game. It's an AFK game. It's like AFK Arena and all that.
Right. That's what it has become, because they knew you'd be grinding a lot. So now you can speed up the game, and you can make the AI control everything. So when you go to your grinding sessions where you're going to grind level, you just auto battle, and it just goes through it really quick. And then on top of that, they added a auto repeat button. So now you can repeat the same stage and not have to actually go through the menu and choose the stage. So with these three combined, you can literally grind out stages overnight without actually playing the game. And that would relieve your leveling, I guess you would say, with the game.
Why play the game in the first place?
Exactly. They made the numbers so big that it was just too much. It was just too much. And I I was going to look up and see how much time I spent on Disgaea 6, but it seems I deleted it from my Switch because I was so upset with it. So, I cannot tell you, but I can tell you right now, it's thousands of hours, and that's only because I didn't actually spend time actually playing it. I had the game running in the background overnight, leveling my characters. So thousands of hours I spent in this game. And when I got to the final big boss ball, I just didn't care, because it's like I auto battled through the whole story because it didn't matter unless there was like a geo panel that screwed you up. And I had seen the skills so many times, I just skip all animations now because I don't care about seeing the same 3 skills anymore. And then once you get to the end game and you get the best skill, it's the same 1 skill anymore. And yeah, I just couldn't. But yeah, Disgaea 6, so many problems. It is not technically a bad game, but because it's so personal for me, it's number 2 on my list for worst games of 2021.
Damn. Alright. Now we're getting to the biggest hitters. Okay.
The number 1 spot. Right?
Yes, the top game.
Alright, number 1, top game, worst game, 2021.
And this is just for me. Me. Outriders.
Alright.
Now I had to pause for a minute because I usually say Outsiders a lot. I think I mentioned it to you as well. Like, oh yeah, that game Outsiders.
Outsiders, yeah.
Like, wait, you mean Outriders, right? Yeah, it's Outriders. Okay, so, geez, where do I start with this? I'll just start with like the story. So the story is that you're a regular human. Like, think of it like Andromeda. You go into another planet trying to create new life or some shit, right? You try and terraform a new planet, right? You come down and it's not what you thought it was, and people just dying left and right because of some anomaly. The anomaly touch people and they just explode to shit, right? And this happens. This happens when the first ships arrive to the new planet trying to start life. It arrived to that planet, people dying and shit. And at the very end of it, when you try to get out of the whole cataclysm, you died at the end, right? But for some odd reason, we don't know why, you go back to life because you're somehow chosen, and you have these powers now.
Oh goodness!
You kind of see where this is going.
Right. The whole mutant gene thing. You got powers instead of being horribly mutated.
Yeah, but it seems a little bit familiar, right? What is that familiar to? Let me continue. Let me continue. Okay. So, you have all. So you now reborn, or whatnot, and you figured out that, like, the whole entire planet is not what you thought it was before. Like, people already landed. There's already civilization and shit. And so you go to the main hub, or whatnot. I don't really know how you just go in the main hub, but you went to the main hub. I think you fight your way to the main hub or some shit. And you start developing relationships with people in this hub. I don't know their names, but my god, they're all just ugly. Okay, I'm sorry, like, the animations and like the speaking and whatnot is so bad. There's only one character I really like in that game. Okay, and you can make your own character, so that would be me. So as you continue through the story, you start to figure out that there's like certain people that the ships actually landed, like thousands of ships actually landed on a planet, and now things are deserted because they didn't have water, they didn't have all these tools, and so things become barren. You have some people that try to fight to get what they want. You have people that transform because of this storm that happened that we still really don't know what it is or how it caused, but we know that it's from that planet itself, right?
Right.
It's from the planet itself. So, by using your like newfound powers or whatnot, and like the power tree is kind of at depth, but there's only really one way to go, right? You have like you got like some type of a trickster, right? He's like blue. He can stop time and shit, do bullet time of all that shit, right? And teleport behind enemies. You can also be like some type of gunner class where his main color is green or whatnot. Like, you have all these class trees you can choose from. Most of these class trees are just bad inside the game. You can either be a glass cannon, or you can just go ahead and be just shit. So the glass cannon is just the trickster. Everything else is, in the beginning of the game, is just shit. Like, there's no reason, no reason to use them at all.
It's like glass cannon or shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you could do a lot of damage but die real easily, or you can not do damage at all and still die easily. Right? So, so a little side note of that, they fixed that by debuffing Trickster.
Oh,
so now everything's shit. Everything is shit now. Everything is shit now.
Pet peeves in video games, man. Where it's just like, you have something that's broken, everybody's just like, well, I mean, you might as well play the broken thing because everything else sucks. and then they're just like, well, let's put everything at the bottom instead of buffing the stuff to make everything good and giving people options. In a good way, you nerf everything or what's good and just leave everybody with nothing but shit. So it's just like, why even play it at that point?
Why even play it? I said, you know what? I'm gonna power through. I just want to find out more about the story. I just want to find out more about the story. And you will. So your main mission is that you need to. So you don't really know what your main mission is until maybe a third into the game. So you start trying to save certain people that's out of the hub, right? And when you pull up the map, it looks very big. It looks like oh shit, this is a huge world. We're going to go to places. No, everything is linear, and it's very small space. When I tell you it's linear, I mean a straight line. It's a line. It might be squiggly, can do some little twirls, but it's literally a line. You can probably branch off, but it will still become a line because you're going to go back to where you're supposed to go. Okay? Even though the world looks big and you have different biomes, everything is just a line. It's ridiculous to me. So you're saving certain people in a certain area and try to get resources off of them, and sometimes you'll try to defeat these enemies in order to get the resources. The main archetypes are the wild, right? You have a whole bunch of spider creatures which I really hated. That's coming at you and they're trying to kill you and whatnot. These enemies are really broken. The AI is really broken because they'll come in a straight line towards you. They will literally come into a straight line towards you. The very very small ones, straight line. Then you have bigger monsters that will swarm you. Doesn't give you enough room. I didn't even talk about how the shooting system is. The shooting system is basically Gears of War, but linear. You have all this cover, right? And the AI is built to make you push you out of that cover. They push you too hard, and they're bullet sponges. Not only the boss level enemies, but the medium enemies. They're bullet sponges. They run at you, not having a clue. Oh, maybe I should take cover too. No, they just run and try to kill you and shit. So that's the thing, right? And the combat itself is just it's not good at all. I feel as though that what I would need to do is keep on rolling. But if I keep on rolling and being out in the open, people are going to shoot me, and I'm a glass cannon, so I'm going to just die a lot. But the only way I can heal myself is through shooting people really up close and shoot them with a shotgun or some shit, right? It forces me to be a heavy a heavy hitter, either melee people or use my shotgun or something like that. Even though you have weapons that are snipers and assault rifles and whatnot, because if you have a sniper and an assault rifle, you can't heal at all. And so the minute you peek out your head, someone's gonna snipe you in the head. Literally the minute you peek out, someone will snipe you, and you won't be able to heal from that, because if you snipe them, you won't heal at all.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna continue to the story. I'm trying to get everything, every nook and cranny, because I really hate this game. I paid full price for this, and I was fucking pissed. Right. So you keep on going. You save everybody in the town. You also save this one woman. This one woman, she have the power to see things in the future. She can't control it, but she just sees it in the future. Now, they never really explained how she got these powers. It's just through the storm, and you just have to trust a game that all these things is just through the storm. Every abnormal thing is from the storm. No reason why she was chosen to be like this, but she was just chosen, right?
Right.
So you found her, and she saw a vision where everything is good and dandy, right? And that was our main mission. Okay, we want to find this utopia that she saw. Apparently, it's in the future, and she said my name, and I said her name. And in the future, everything should be all right. And so we try to see if we can, like, you know, mimic this future and whatnot. We found some type of doctor or some shit. We talked to him. He said, like, oh, well, there might be a way if we start this one antenna all the way over here, and like over here is like pretty much the end of the map. So from that beginning, right? And that was only 1/3 of the game. The rest of the game, 2/3, is literally a straight line trying to find this antenna. And you have roadblocks ahead saying like, oh, you can't go past this barricade. I know we have trucks and everything, but I guess we have to go around. It's like, we have a big fucking tank. Just roll over this shit. Just forget everybody. Let's go off road and just skip everything. But no, we have to do it because of story. They have to put things in.
Yeah, story, man. Everybody loves story in video games. It's for the story.
And then every boss you come across is not really important. I don't even really remember, like, none of the bosses was just like, okay, it's just something we gotta kill, right? And like it's something or someone we have to kill. It's so shocking to me too, because like the monsters, okay, we have to kill monsters, but the people, we don't know why they're upset. We don't know why they're really angry. We don't know what they want. You know, like there have to be a reason why they're a villain. They don't give us that reason why they're a villain. Instead, I felt like I was a villain. I meet these guys. I went inside their headquarters to get something or some shit. I start killing all of them, right? And then in the cutscene, when I defeated the boss, my character just go up to them, just really like, oh yeah, I'm the man. I defeated you, and you had all these powers, and shoot him in the head. Didn't say anything. I'm like, what? Like, am I the villain now? Like, why am I doing this? Why can't I just go around you guys? You know what I'm saying? There have to be a reason, and there's really no reason. So you keep going and going until you see a deserted area, right? This deserted area is full of human-like monsters, and these monsters was like they are in an area where there was civilization here. And you start to figure out, like, oh my god, we were here before, or the first people that were here before, and the attendant is here as well. Like, so now it starts to realize, like, okay, well, I guess people was here even before us, which is weird, and they didn't really expanded on this of why they were here before us. So it was really fucky. Okay, so there's that, and we able to like we meet like pretty much like we're about to approach the final boss, and in the middle of it we fought a guy that's spoiler alert, is the final boss, but wasn't the final boss. So you fight him twice, right? The first time you hit him, you try to shoot him and kill him and whatnot. The battle system was very stupid because there's no cover at this point, and like I said, you're a glass cannon, and he could just straight up teleport to you. This is the first time you fight him. He teleports to you and just hits you with melee attacks. All you can do is just roll. That's all you can do. Okay, you just roll and just pray that you can kill him down in time. Now, he come back again for some odd reason. He's not really like a humanoid. He's just a monster. And at the very final boss, where you activate the antenna and you figure out there is no future, the vision that she had in the very beginning of the game is nothing. Like it was a red herring. There really wasn't a. What you were watching was something part of a TV. And that's how they pushed it out to you, which was fucking ridiculous. I hated it because I spent all my time thinking that there is a good ending to this. There is no good ending to this. At the final boss, it's the same thing again, where you have no fucking cover. It's a cover-based game. You have no cover. Your MP is shit, and like, to actually heal, you need to get close. But when you get close, you get hit with so much damage. I had to find other people to play this with me because there's no really, well, there is matchmaking, but there's shit. You have to ask other people, like, hey, like during stream, like, hey, can you, like, you know, help me with this, because this boss battle, I literally cannot do it. I'm a glass cannon. And so other people joined me, and we were able to defeat it down, no problem. And there's 3 phases to him, right? And where the third phase is just the worst, because there's a swarm of enemies coming to you, and you have no cover. In the very beginning of the game, it forces cover out of you. At the very end of the game, they put so much enemies around you, shooting at you and whatnot, that you expect to be in cover. And no cover is given. I don't understand why that's a thing.
Yeah, in a cover-based game, you make the final boss battle have no cover. You literally, like, you teach me, this is what you're supposed to do to survive. This is how you play this game. And then throw that all out the water, and they're like, now that's not there. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, huh? What? Like, it's like Final Fantasy teaching you to dodge AoEs, right? And then the final boss in Final Fantasy has nothing but AoEs that you can't dodge. And It's just like, you just take hits and you die. And it's like, what? Huh?
It's ridiculous. Now, this is like the most upsetting part, right? Uh-oh. Once you actually kill the final boss, nothing happens. Like, all that happens is that when you kill him, the storms start brewing and shit, but nothing really happens. They show you all these cutscenes and shit, making you look powerful, but nothing actually really happened. It's just, congratulations, you won type of thing. It's like, now you can go back and try to survive or some shit. It was,
what?
It was just like, the final boss was, the game was just here to be here. From point A all the way to the beginning of the game to the point B to the end of the game itself was a big turning on a button. is literally walking down the hallway to press a button and saying, "Oops, I guess that doesn't work. I guess we just have to survive on our own." It's like, what did I play this game for?
Oh my goodness.
There's nothing to grasp out of this. Like, why do I even want to play this game again? Like, and there's like, and you, this like a big like a game, kind of like I was kind of hinting. It was kind of like Destiny, right? Like where you died in Destiny, right? You come back to life in Destiny, and it's a whole at least Destiny story have some sense to it, to where you have a defeat the heart at the very end. But when you defeat the heart at the very end, you'd be like, "Is that it? Is that what we're here for? That like that's all? Like we're done? Like what the fuck is this?"
Right.
Outriders was just worse. You killed the final boss, where the final boss is just it's a no name. We don't know his history. We don't know who they are. He's just a villain.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. And then, and it's seep in like Anthem, where it copies everything from Destiny. The Destiny formula. You know how the menu works in Destiny?
Yeah.
It's literally the same thing. I am not kidding you. The colors of like legendaries and like purples are the same, right? Like in your menu, right? Like how that menu look, the UI is literally the same. The only thing that's different is that the background is like purple instead of white, like in Destiny. I'm gonna say this, and I'm end with it, because I just really went through the whole entire thing because I just really hate this game. Don't buy this game at all at any price. It is not worth it. If you want to play a game that is actually worth it, I would suggest playing that $70 game he described. Was like you can have a candle and shit and like a dragon head.
Please, no. Please, God, no.
Bro, I'm telling you, I'd rather play that game than this fucking game. I was pissed I paid for this game.
Oh boy.
I was pissed.
I don't think you know what you get yourself into, but okay, I understand.
That's one. It was more of a rant, honestly, but it's okay.
Oh, don't worry. You got to rant. Now I'm gonna rant because my number one is very personal too.
All right, tell us what is your top worst game of 2021.
Worst game of 2021 for me is Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis.
Oh shit! I probably have to make like a new video section just for this.
Oh no! No. We add this on.
Shit.
We adding this on.
Sorry, it's already an hour and 43 minutes. God damn it. Okay, go ahead.
Baby. All right. So Phantasy Star Online 2 was a game that came out in Japan. It's been out for 8 years, maybe more by now. I have lost count. Then they have finally released the game for us in the West. We played it. It was amazing because I played it before on the Japanese servers, and then it came out in America. I played it again. It was amazing. All my friends played it. I love it. Love PSO2. So they announced that New Genesis was going to come out for PSO2. And it was like a totally new game, but you got to keep your character and some of your data from the previous game to carry over to New Genesis. So we only played original PSO2 in the States for a year before New Genesis came out right after that. Again, this game's a free to play, so that's a plus, right? You're not really investing to to play and try out these games. So New Genesis comes out. The game release messy. It's just a mess. I'm not going to talk too much about original PSO2. I'm going to try to focus on NGS specifically. So the game released as a mess. It released buggy. There were like fashion glitches and stuff like that. The game had no story. It is, even right now, it has no story. There's like a couple of story missions. I mean, I would say I don't want to get into spoilers, but it's not much of a story. Pretty much, you wake up in a pod. They rescue you from this pod you were sleeping in. No idea where you are, how you got there, especially considering how PSO2 ended. No idea why you're there, how you got there. They invite you to this island. You get to know a couple of people. They all get attacked. All of them except for like you and one other girl die, including the girl's like dad. But they kind of left that kind of ambiguous, so I'm pretty sure he's probably not dead. There's probably a little bit more to that, but I don't know. That's all speculation. But her dad is supposedly dead, and you and her, y'all go off. Y'all find another town, which is like the central hub in New Genesis, and it's the only other town in the game. That's it. Just this is your main hub. The other town that was in the game is gone. It was literally blown off the map. So now you're in this town.
What's the reason for it?
Because story, that's why.
Oh, okay.
So now you're in this town. It's like a central town. There's a couple of people out. There's a plaza. Yeah. So you end up having to like find some other girl who's an agent or whatever. She helps you, and y'all go and fight a dragon because this dragon is fighting this old guy. He's in trouble. You need to go help him. You fight this dragon, and that's it. That's all I can really remember. Since I last played it, they did add a new region with more story to it, but I'm just trying to go off the initial release of the game. Because that's what most people see when you first release a game. Eventually, years down the line, you will probably look at Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis, and the game will probably be amazing. And everybody who stuck with it will probably have all this crazy fashion and emotes and all this stuff that you can't get anymore, and you have to buy it off the market for millions of zenny, whatever. The story is pretty much non-existent. I do not care about any of the characters in New Genesis. In PSO2, they showed you so many characters, and it was like eventually you got to know all the characters, and there was so many good characters in PSO2. There were bad characters too, as in any game, but there were some good characters in there too. NGS characters, there's like the one girl you saved, the other girl that helped you, Crawford, which is like the leader of the town, and then this old robot guy, and that's it. Everybody else is just like really side note characters whose names you won't even remember. Shit, even the characters that I fight with, I don't even remember their names. That's just how impactful they were. So I don't care about the characters. But then when you get to the initial game, there's no content. So again, comparing this, because I can only compare it with the game that it's literally attached to, because you have to have PSO2 to play NGS. You cannot play it separately. So, and PSO2 is a 8-year-old game, so I'm not comparing it to all of its content, because it's 8 years worth of content, but I'm just comparing the initial release of PSO2 and like chapter 1, right? It still had more content in that than they do in NGS. And again, this game will release later, with way more content. We look back at this like 3 years down the line. You're talking about this is his number one worst game. Like, yes, at the time,
but
right now,
pretty.
yes.
But
it has no content. Pretty much the only thing you do after you beat the game is you level your classes, and that's it. And you wait for urgent quests, which urgent quests no longer have schedules, so you don't know when it's going to happen. And for somebody who has a job, has things to do, they don't release urgent quests at night. They only release them like through the day. So by the time I get home, there's like one more urgent quest, and then there's no more for the rest of the night. So because of my work schedule, I'm usually never around to even do any of the urgent quests. And the only thing I can really do is go off and level. There's no reason to play with anybody. So it's cool because the game doesn't have the whole trifecta tank, healer, DPS, and everybody's technically a DPS and everybody can support themselves. So you don't have to rely on anybody, but it also makes it to where there's no reason to play together. Like, if I can do everything by myself, why do I need to play with these people? Why do I need to play with these people? What can I even do with my friends outside of leveling? And occasionally when an urgent quest shows up, let's do an urgent quest together. So, no content. There's pretty much only leveling. And then there's a bug, right? Because you can go back, because you keep your character from PSO2 to play in NGS. You can go back to PSO2 and play PSO2, but there's a bug. So there's a bug in the old lobby of PSO2 that makes it to where my controller doesn't work. And it pretty much made it to where I could not go back to play old PSO2 because my controller wouldn't work as soon as I entered the lobby.
Wow.
I'm not sure how that's possible. What kind of bug you gotta have in the game that makes your game unplayable? But the game literally did not want me to play it. It made my controller not work.
You're stuck here.
So, God damn it. So, yeah, you couldn't play OPSO2. Then they started releasing these events. So these events, the first time you see the event, it's like, okay, this is cool. The way the events work is you'll have a seasonal event. And all the enemies will be marked with this little seasonal star over their head to let you know that they're a seasonal enemy. And they give you these seasonal credits that you use to buy seasonal items. And the items will usually focus on a specific element. So like in summer, they give you fire weapons. And all the enemies that have the seasonal mark over their heads will be weak to fire. So it'll make all the enemies for the event weak to fire. So it's like, okay, get this fire weapon, level it up, and do all this damage to the seasonal enemies. Of course, not necessary, right? There are other weapons. There are weapons from the old game that are still good because I've literally made the best weapons and armor in the past game. So those weapons carried over, and it made me pretty much good to go in NGS as soon as I hit max level. So it was like, but cool. You can get this fire weapon, you can level it up, do fire damage. Cool. The next event rolls around, and it's like, oh, this event, electric weapons. It's literally the exact same event. They just changed the symbol. Oh, now it's fall, right? And it's electric weapons, and all the enemies are weak to electric. But it's practically the same event. So every now and then you'll get the same reskin event over and over and over.
That gets boring.
And it's just like, after a while, it's just like, this is the same event, just reskinned. So you have reskinned events. And then the problem is there's no content, right? There's only leveling. The urgent quests have no schedules. There's no way to do the urgent quests. Eventually, they added these triggers, or they're working on adding these triggers that allow you to do the urgent quests with a group whenever you feel like it. And this was in the past game, so it's like they knew people did it before. Why the hell is it not in this new version of the game? You knew that people enjoyed that in the past game. I don't understand. So the combat for this game, right, is not bad. The combat for this game is good. They have improved on it. It is much better. The classes feel a lot better than they did in the old game. They really learned from the Scion classes that they had in PSO2 and kind of implemented a bit of the Scion classes to all the base classes for NGS. So like the Force feels like Etoile a little bit, or like the Hunter feels like the Hero class a bit. It's still Hunter, but it took a couple of ideas from the Hero class, and all the classes feel a lot better and whatnot. But the problem is there's no content. There's a couple of zones, but there's not really anything to do in those zones. And for me, the game kind of lost its power fantasy, because that's really what I got from the original PSO2. Was once I was geared, like it's a skill-based game, right? Mm-hmm. But once I was geared, once I was leveled, and I had my character leveled and geared, I was able to do everything to a certain degree solo and just knock it out. If I had the skills to do it, I could just do it solo. In NGS, I don't feel that power fantasy. I feel myself dying a lot more. And I mean, you might say that because it's a new game, you don't know the enemies, attack patterns, yada yada. Kind of, it feels more like Monster Hunter than PSO2 for me. It's more about knowing the enemy's attack patterns and countering or dodging at the right time. And that kind of gets stale for me. Like, I felt like original PSO2 combat was good enough for me, and I keep thinking about it and like, man, it was good. Like I want to go back and play it, but I can't go back and play it because the old lobby is bugged and it'll break my controller. So I'm forced to just stick with NGS. So other than all of that, there's another reason why this game is number one for me. Because I know there's some of you who probably still play NGS. I mean, most people who played NGS don't even play NGS anymore. Sukino played NGS. He has his own group. He doesn't play it. I think he went to go play Genshin Impact or something.
Yep,
so,
Genshin Impact.
Most people don't even play NGS because there's nothing to do other than leveling. And it's like, even with this new region, they've upped the level cap. So it's like, now I got to go to a new region and fight a couple of different enemies and re-level all my classes that I'm going to play all over again. And they're like, oh, well, people were complaining about content because they have these little dialogues every couple of months or whatever, and to update people on what they're doing, which is good. They talk to their community. And people complain that there's no content to do. Their solution for this was to release more events and increase the level cap every couple of months. So you're going to release more reskinned events and keep upping the level, so we're sitting there just grinding longer every day. So it's just like, you're still not giving us any actual content.
No.
I still don't care about any of these characters.
They're just giving you more to grind.
Yeah, you're just giving me more grind. So I haven't even picked it back up because I'm just like, I need them to do better before I pick this back up. Like, I just need them to do better. There's way better games I can play with my time right now than this. Like Ratchet and Clank. Don't talk about that right now. Other than that, there's another personal reason why this game is number one. So PSO2, right, when it was released and then they announced NGS, I went really hard on PSO2 while I was playing Final Fantasy. And eventually NGS was going to come out. So at that time, I was like, okay, I'm going to stop playing Final Fantasy to play Phantasy Star Online NGS. And I left my free company. You know, you probably know where this story is going. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know it was because my free company. Though. Yes, I left my free company to a friend of mine because I knew I was going to be actively playing NGS, and until I caught up in that game, I was going to give him lead for that time being. So I ended up giving him lead. He ended up screwing everybody over, pretty much dissociating with everybody, kicking us out of our free company. So I ended up losing our free company. And I guess technically I lost a friend.
This happened last year?
This happened before NGS came out. I don't know. I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year before last, because it was before NGS came out.
Okay.
But I was saying that I was prepping for NGS to come out.
I see. Okay.
This was like, I want to say, a little bit of the ways into the pandemic. Like when we were first figuring out about Corona is when all this started to happen. Because
that's in 2019 then.
Was that 2019? No, we've only been dealing with this for 2 years, so it should have been sometime in 2020.
No, the end of 2019 is when it started. In the beginning of 2020.
Okay, I don't know the date, but it was sometime in 2020 is when this happened. But yeah, so to do all of that, release my free company to my friend to fuck all of us over and dissociate himself with me and everybody. We lose our free company house that we put, money and time into. All of our friends pretty much not having a place to go to because of his shenanigans. To then come to play NGS and it be not even a percentage of the game I thought it would be is why this game is personally number one of the worst games of 2021 for me.
Damn.
Oh yeah, that's it for me. Those are the worst games.
Now I know.
Worst games.
Now I know why you're in that fuck you attitude, man.
Yeah, NGS, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you.
Slap Bill.
Yeah, fuck you, Outsiders. Yeah, that's right. I said it. I didn't even say it properly. All right.
Well, those are top 5 worst.
Yeah. So, we'll end it here, and see you guys in the next video. And when I mean the next video, we're just going to like.
Well, they don't need to know the inner workings of part. No, they don't need to know that.
Okay. All right.
Oh, fuck you guys. Y'all don't need to know that.
All right, guys. See you later.
Later.
Such devastation. This was not my intention.